This conference will stimulate some sound discussion on this very topical matter. Now, just to set the scene, I would like to make some brief comments on aspects that will be developed and expanded upon in the course of today's conference. The fall of the Gaddafi regime and the recent events in Mali have surely contributed to increased instability in the Sahel region, which represents today one of the main crisis areas in Africa. The effects of these destabilization processes could easily spread over the bordering northern African countries enough to threaten seriously Mediterranean security. I feel proud to say that the Center for Defense Higher Studies, the Italian Center, started monitoring these events early enough, while general public opinion was focused on other media news. In fact, our first analysis of the issue dates back to April 2012, immediately after the coup in Mali, and then we came out with another paper in June 2012. And I would like to briefly just touch upon some of the findings of that study, leaving out the well-known reasons for which the government in Bamako asked for French support in recovering territorial integrity. According to our analysts, some situations still persist that, if not properly or badly managed, risk extending the crisis far beyond Mali borders, and recent events prove that. The reasons for the situation, as you all know, find their roots in the historical conflict between the Tuareg people and the political leaders of the states into which their land was split after the end of the colonial period. This ongoing disagreement between the Tuareg minority and the Bamako government is the cause of that, we can call it separatist spirit, which since the very first years after independence fomented the strong tensions that then gave rise to many insurgencies. I'm referring to 1962, 1990, 2006. Another consequence of this stormy atmosphere has been the reinforcement of the links between the Tuareg Redentist movement and various terrorist and Islamic extremist groups in the region, at the risk of laying the foundations for an Islamist caliphate. Now, fortunately, this threat has so far been avoided. Nevertheless, the only way to find a solution is to guarantee proper representation, political representation, to the minorities in northern Mali, in particular to the Tuareg people. Doing so, the Mali government and the Tuareg secular political movements could come to an agreement in order to fight Islamic fundamentalism, which at the moment is not part of the Tuareg culture. They don't feel that necessity to fight Islamic fundamentalism. Furthermore, we all know that a war against fundamentalism based on purely military means would not be the way to solve the crisis in the medium and long term. That is why, for 2014, our military center, my military center for strategic studies, and together in collaboration with the 5+5 activity of the Euro-Maghrebian Center, will focus on a study entitled "What Future for Mali and Sahel?" The actions that have to be taken during the stabilization phase. Another point we should reflect upon is the succession movements of African ethnic minorities, which could provoke a deep upsetting of the political geography of the African continent. The independence of Eritrea and more recently of South Sudan have also questioned the inviolability of the borders plotted down at the end of the colonial period and at the time accepted by the Organization for African Unity. Now, if this new criteria is sanctioned of the non-intangibility of the borders, that would cause a dangerous chain reaction in other areas in case the expectations of the minorities were still ignored, sometimes due to the interference of external actors of external interest, and undermine the stability of many countries where hereditous claims are already strong. In conclusion, I am confident that this conference will bring about ideas and opinions for possible solutions and a way ahead to contribute to the stabilization of a crucial region which represents a priority not only for Africa but the whole international community. Distinguished guests, wishing you a pleasant stay at the Center and full success to this initiative. I am glad now to give the floor to Dr. and my friend Marjalefi. Thank you for your attention.